Now let's create object obj human. This is going to be the one you're going to be controlling in the game. So what we're going to want this one to do is for it to move in the corresponding direction whenever you hit the arrow keys down. So let's start by setting the sprite. Click add event, keyboard left. And this one, you jump to position. Type down -4 and relative. So whatever your current x is will become 4 less. You might ask, why don't you use this thing? Because if by doing this, it'll constantly be jumping -4 while we have that put in. If we put down the move fixed, then it'll keep going in that direction after we let go of the left button. Now let's add event, keyboard right. This one will be almost exactly the same, only +4 instead of -4. This one also needs to be relative. Let's add up. This is on the y-axis, so we're going to be going here and -4. And this one needs to be relative. You might wonder why is it -4? That's just not logical. GameMaker is set up in a little different way than you would expect, because the room is a grid, just like you learned in math class. Only instead of having 4 quadrants, it only has 1. So think of it as your regular 4 quadrants zoomed into the bottom right quadrant, and then the whole the whole grid was flipped vertically as well. Alright, so now we have one more to go. This one, keyboard down. This one's going to need to be positive, so +4 and relative. Alright, to give you an idea of what these numbers mean and how fast you expect them to move, GameMaker will go through these 30 times each second. 4 is 4 pixels, so let's do, for example, down. It'll go 4 times down every time this is checked. Since this is checked 30 times in 1 second, it'll move 4 times 30 pixels per second, which is 120 pixels per second. And since our room is 480 pixels tall, let me get my calculator out. So it's 480 pixels tall, divided by the 120 pixels it can move in a second. So it'll take 4 seconds for it to go from one side of the room, like the top side of the room, to the bottom side of the room. Now, instead of having the whole point of the game to click the clown, we actually want our human to dodge the clown, along with the monsters. So click add event, collision with clown, and when it collides with clown, we want the game to restart. That's as simple as dragging in an icon. Just need to find it first. Here, under the main 2, this icon is game start, and we also want to show the high scores. So let's find high scores. Under the score, right there. Just drag that over there, and you can play around with this all you want. I'm not going to do anything with it right now. Alright, we want the exact same thing to happen when it collides with the monster. So right click, duplicate, collision with monster 1, right click, duplicate, collision with monster 2. Now let me throw out a scenario here. Let's say you had 50 different enemies and you want the exact same thing to happen for each enemy. This would be really filled up then. Well, thankfully, GameMaker has a little trick for that. So let's create another object. Create object. obj enemy. So for object human, well, let's duplicate this for collision with enemy. Delete all those. We'll delete these. Now, in order to make sure that obj enemy could refer to any of these 3, you would click on all of them and set parent object enemy. So with other things, anything reacting with object enemy would also count for this one. Object enemy. Object enemy. Oh, okay. Parents can come in real handy with programming. Like I said, you have to dodge the clown instead of catch it. So let's click on the clown and let's take away the catching thing. So basically just delete the left button event. Okay. Now let's create one more object. Create object obj inv wall. Alright. So put in your alpha sprite. Make sure it's solid, but not visible. This we're going to use to keep the clown in line so that it's not going all over the screen, since the room is going to get bigger and we don't want the clown to go all over the place. So for the clown, we'll just have it, we'll duplicate the collision with the object wall and make it the collision with the INV wall. You could use a parent here, but the problem with that is then your monsters would also react with the object invisible wall, and you wouldn't necessarily want that. Speaking of wall collisions, I forgot to add that with the human. So here, add collision event with, not clown, collision event with wall. Delete the clown. Okay. When it collides with the wall, we want stop. So this one we can use move fixed. Just click stop. And the speed doesn't really matter since you want speed to be 0, but in the official tutorial, Mark Overmars put down 8, so we'll stick with 8. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, and comment. It would really help me out a lot. If you have any questions about this tutorial or any other tutorials, you can email me at apc@synforge.co.cc. You can private message me on my YouTube account, or you can join our forum, synforge.co.cc, and you can ask me there. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.